Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. You are joining us from my garage. We've got Will here, Noah, and our lovely friend Curtis, who's going to be our guest today. Thank you so much, Curtis, for coming.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah, of course. Glad to have you here. So we've got some questions for you. I have some questions. I haven't let anyone else prepare for this because I never let anyone prepare.
It's the hot seat.
Exactly.
I love it.
But you have a very interesting job, and you run a very interesting company all around the automotive world. So tell us, I guess, a little bit. Just give us a pretty brief overview of what it is that you do, because I find it very interesting. I think everybody else will.
Absolutely. So for anyone who's looking for a luxury or exotic car, you come to me. We handle the whole process from start to finish. We handle sourcing, setting up test drives, negotiations, delivery, all of that. And you go about your day, and the car shows up, and boom, you drive away in your new 911, Ferrari, whatever it may be.
Not bad.
Sounds nice to me.
It's like a better car dealership experience.
Exactly. We take the pain out of that.
They deal with the stuff that no one wants to.
Exactly. Yeah. We're the crazy ones that love going to the dealership, look at the cars, and negotiate. Everyone else, don't worry about it.
And your type of clientele, too, tends to be people who don't have the time to go to the dealership themselves or don't want to. And they have the money where they just,
both.
It's whatever.
Exactly. Like, they don't have the time to spend 4 hours at the dealership negotiating
they
and
trust
back and
you.
forth, and they got to trust me. They got to trust
Gotcha.
me.
Where do you get these cars?
All over the place. So it's a lot of networking, a lot of word of mouth. It can be as small as like a Facebook group, or it could be calling one of my buddies in Miami or California or Europe and saying, hey, I'm looking for this car. Do you have it? Do you have a lead on something like this? And if so, let's take the next steps.
So wait, so do people come to you looking for a car and then you go find it for them? Or do they come looking and you happen to have one in your inventory? Like, do you keep inventory, or do you source these cars specific for clients?
It's both. It'll be either, they're coming to me looking for something specific, or I'm doing virtual consignment and have what they're looking for in my inventory.
Gotcha.
And we can kind of do the transaction that way. But typically it's like, I'm looking for, a 488 Pista in this color, this miles, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
Can you find this car for me? And we kind of go about it that way.
So how'd you get it? I guess we'll start at the beginning, because I'm very curious, and I don't actually know this about you.
Yeah.
We actually met in an airport. We were in Amelia Island.
That's great.
Wearing the same hats.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
this hat, but different hat. Yeah.
So it worked out. We were on the same flight back to Boston, but I've never asked, how did you get into this? Like, what made you start? How long? When did you get into cars, I guess, really? And then what made you start this business?
Great question. I've been in the cars since I was a little kid. There's a picture of me further back on my Instagram with me in my little Tykes car. I was probably like 2 or 3 years old.
We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. No idea where the love from cars came from. But, it's been in my blood since I was born. Started this business, maybe like 2010, somewhere around 2008, with a friend of mine, and was doing it more for fun. We were focused on Saab and Volvo. And then
niche.
Yeah, very niche, very niche.
Was Saab still a company then?
Barely, no.
Yeah, they were on their last legs.
Yeah. Long story short, we did not have a lot of clientele. So, no, it was fun. It was good. And then ended up going into more of the luxury and exotic space about 3 years ago.
Gotcha. That's a bit more of a profitable place to be than the Saab,
It is.
Saab people.
It is, yeah. I ran out of clientele really quick. I think I found like 2 Saabs up here, and I was like, great. And that's all of my clientele.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, his mom had a Saab.
Yeah.
That thing was crazy.
She had multiple Saabs, actually.
Oh, she had more than one?
Saab with the toys on it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, her Saab was covered, toys glued to the entire outside of the Saab. It was kind of cool.
She's
That's
a crazy
so funny.
person. Yeah,
That's so
she's a
funny.
crazy person.
I've run into like 10 Saab people in the last week. It's the craziest thing. Like all these
Yes.
networking events, like everyone's like, oh, I used to drive a Saab. And I said, no way. Like me too.
I'll find you one.
Yeah. Like, I
The
got
Saab
you.
people are a cult. They meet somewhere.
really are.
Yeah.
They
talk about turbo lag.
Yes, we do.
And
In
if
the basement.
you love it,
Mirrors falling
you
off on
love
the
it.
highway, all
Yeah.
the good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you love it, you love it. So did you love it when you started that? I mean,
Did you have
to
a Saab?
like a Saab.
I had
to
2
start
Saabs.
A Saab finding.
I did. I had a
operation.
2005 9.3 Arc in like a really weird, like
That's cool.
greenish gray. No idea how to describe it.
I feel like I know that color.
Yeah, it was a weird color.
Yeah.
Probably like almost the color of this table. It's kind of funky.
That's cool.
With like tan interior, not the nicest spec. Love the car, beast in the snow, and then upgraded to the Aero, the all-wheel drive with the manual, which was
That's a good car.
that was much better. I still miss that.
That's as
car.
good as it gets for
Yeah, as good as
in
it
the
gets.
Saab world.
A couple of my friends
I
have
don't know, 99
some
turbo.
Saabs you might appreciate. My old boss, Ben, he has a 9.5 SPG.
Oh, yes.
like imported from Canada from the 80s. And then even weirder, my friend Emmett, I think he just got rid of it, but he had one of the last 9.7s, like the GM body one with a manual.
With a manual?
There was I think 30 in the world or something.
That's crazy.
Really weird Saabs.
No idea.
They were both not great cars to own, but they're really cool.
Exactly.
Do all Saabs have the key in the center console?
Pretty much all of them do.
Okay, yeah,
it was a good feature.
There's some, I don't hate that, but I don't love it. It's sort of like how Alfa Romeos have the shifter kind of at an angle on the dash.
I like that.
I like that too.
If you've ever actually driven
It's
an
good
Alpha,
for driving.
it feels like it's supposed to be there.
It's
It just looks weird. It's like the Carrera GT.
Civics.
Or that. Very different cars.
Yeah, the EP3 Civic, the shifter's up here, coming out of the center, the radio.
It curves up.
Yeah,
too.
it's so
It's
cool.
kind of like having it like a CAE, nice and close to the wheel.
Where would be the worst place for the shifter to be?
3 on the tree, man.
Can't think
of anything
Ahead of you on the dash, on the dash itself. Still in reach, you could use it, but it'd be really
3 on the
unfortunate.
tree is just wow.
The worst place for the shifter is left-hand shifter on the doors.
I think the XJR
Old race
15 has
cars.
that.
Old
yeah.
race cars have
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's weird.
smacking your hand in the door.
We always get distracted. But yeah, so
I know.
now the business is on to more of the realm of luxury cars, more like performance stuff for
Exactly.
a wealthier clientele, which means that you have to find the clientele. Is it mostly, so the car, you find the cars when people ask for them, but in terms of the clientele, where are you meeting these people? Is that a trade secret? I don't know.
It's a big secret. No, just kidding. Car shows, in line at a coffee shop. I met a client there before.
Gotcha.
Literally at
That's
a grocery
crazy.
store, in traffic. It's crazy. You just start talking to people and they're like, oh, what do you do? And you tell them what they do and they say, you have a card? And you give the card and then they're like, I'll call you.
So you're just a talkative, nice guy, which I already know about.
I try
you,
to.
but
I try to be. Some people might disagree, but I try to be.
So I have a question. When was the tipping point where you started transitioning from Saabs and Volvos to exotic cars and supercars? Because that's a jump. Was there a specific time where you met a client that was like, I need a Ferrari, 355, and you went and found it, and then he gave you a connection, and it snowballed from there, or was it like?
Yeah. So kind of where the transition happened was it was late 2020, and I woke up from a dream that I started this company, but focused on the supercar side of things. So I rolled over and scribbled on my notepad and fell back asleep. Woke up and said, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm going to do this.
Cool.
That's cool.
Reached out to.
It wasn't some guy that was like,
it
had a
wasn't.
Saab, and he's like, I'm thinking I get an end zone now.
Yeah. No, not that.
I think out of anyone I've ever met, you really can say you have your dream job.
My dream, literally,
Do you love it?
That is
love
your
what I
dream
do.
job.
I love what I do. Even when, we're in a slump, I still absolutely love what I do. No
That's
regrets.
awesome.
So
Good. That was sick, man. I love that. I love when people are doing the stuff following their passion. That's what we do. So I mean,
Definitely.
yeah.
it's nice to see when other people can do it. I would hate to work a desk job. Even if they were paying me 10 times what I'm making now, which wouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
Then it would be.
All right,
that.
we sidetracked. What's the story?
Yeah.
You had a
Oh,
dream.
yeah.
You wrote it down.
Had a
Had a dream, wrote it down.
Crazy.
Sorry, we do that.
Called
We
a
do
friend
that.
of mine who I used to work with who, my friend John, with the 996 Turbo.
love John.
Reached out to him and started chatting, and he was like, I'm looking to sell my GT3 RS. And I said, I got you. And he was like, okay. And within a week, I had it sold on the truck. And he was like, all right, now sell my 1M. And I said, I got you. Another week later, sold that. And he was like, okay, you're on to something here. What's next? And that was kind of one of my first clients. I did help someone buy a Ford Explorer, the pickup truck. That was my first official client.
Gotcha.
But moving into more of the high end, the supercar, luxury car, it was definitely the GT3, and then moving into the 1M, working on some other classics now too. But yeah, that was kind of the transition into those cars.
What do you think gives you the edge over somebody else? Because there's got to be other people in the space, obviously, but where do you think your competitive edge comes in? These guys just see what you're doing. You're so motivated. You're so in it that they're like, this is our guy. We trust him. Is it mostly trust, or is it mostly who can flip the car the fastest? What's the edge that you see in the game, I guess?
So it depends on the client, but from my perspective and what I've been told, it's my ability to build trust and rapport with my clientele and show them I can get the job done. And if they're looking for something, I can find it. And that is really what's giving me the edge over some of my competition, with the exception of some of the people on the West Coast that are absolutely killing it. But, they've been in the game a lot longer. I have been in the game for 20 years or something like that. And, for me, it's year 3 call it year 2 at this point. So
Seems to be going well for year 2.
Year 2, yeah. We're moving, which is good. We're moving.
Looks good from the outside.
Yeah,
dude, that's good inspiration for us, because we are, obviously grinding, starting businesses right now, and to hear, you started with Sobs and Volvos in 2010, and here we are one day after a dream, you made it happen. Like, that's pretty cool. So I'm glad to hear that.
It's funny. That was like almost like for me, if I wasn't doing this, I would probably be doing something similar.
Yeah.
I always liked the car curating. I like space. I mean, I've worked at dealerships before in the past.
Don't take them away from me.
This goes all wrong.
If it all spirals.
But no, for me, I was always very interested in car curating, and I've done it for people in the past. Like a lot of people will just kind of reach out to me purely just because I've been in the car community for so long.
They trust you. They know you.
But like, yeah, exactly. And they're like, okay, well, help me sell this. Grab pictures, put it up, whatever. Because I'm also a photographer. And then also just like, do you know this guy with this car? Can you get me in touch with them and sell this car? And I've honestly moved a lot of cars from person to person, people to people. And I always really, really liked it. I think it's just like a cool position to be in.
It's fun.
Like,
it's fun.
I think it's a great job, and I'm glad it's going well for you. But I always thought it was cool.
It's awesome. And I was doing that for a little while too, and it wasn't my business. It was more just for fun.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I realized, like, wait, I should be charging for this.
I've thought that before.
Like, I'm spending all this time, all this energy. Like, I probably should put a fee in there, you know?
Yeah.
So-
it must be fun to hunt for the cars too. Like that seems exciting.
It's very, very fun. Yeah. Yeah.
So if I were to come up to you and ask you for a 997.2 Meissen Blue GT3, what would be the steps that you would take initially, and what do you think like the longest time would be for it to get me that car?
First thing I would do is call my Porsche contacts and say, I'm looking for this spec. Do you have any leads on this anywhere by any chance? And would kind of put the feelers out to certain people, depending on the level of confidentiality. I don't let everyone know about my clientele, but would definitely take all the steps to try to find that car for you. Whether it's located here, maybe it's popped to Europe, you never know. But calling on all the people that know that space really well and begin the process of trying to source that particular car for you.
Awesome. So say it was in Europe, then would you also handle that importing of that vehicle?
100%.
That's awesome.
100%.
It's just a matter of money.
Exactly. I have a question.
Exactly.
In my experience of doing it, like one time there was a car on Bring a Trailer. My friend really wanted it. The car didn't meet reserve. And he was like, I need to find the guy. So I'm going through like all the pictures in the Bring a Trailer thing, looking through the receipts and everything, find the guy's name, find the guy's contact information. My friend ended up buying the car. What is like the weirdest way you've been able to find a specific car for somebody? Like something sort of like that.
It was like that. It was looking through like the archives on Facebook chats and different groups and looking at the cars that have been sold and then who commented on that and then who commented on their comment and like keep breaking it down until you figure it out, shoot a DM and then find someone else to be like, hey, listen, I know you have this car. I know you bought this car. I have someone who wants that car. So yeah, it's kind of like playing, private investigator sometimes.
That's kind of cool.
What's going on here? Yeah.
I always thought I'd make for a good PI, maybe.
Yeah. I thought about doing that career. I studied criminology and I was like, I'm going to be an FBI agent. And here we are working for cars.
FBI car agent.
That could be.
Change the name. Car FBI.
Yeah.
That's,
have to do
that's
it.
not terrible. Somebody could steal that out there right now.
You're an investigator, though, still. Yeah. That's
True. Yeah.
Still got some of that.
Just for something I'm more passionate about.
Yeah. But hey, like, there you go. Way to mix two, previous sort of passions together.
Exactly.
What's the, like, you said you met somebody at a coffee shop. What's the, like, most random way you've met somebody that's just turned into the most, like, profitable interaction? Like, is there a chance you met somebody at a coffee shop and then they're suddenly wanting to buy, like, a $2 million car? Or have you ever had, like, a weird, just micro interaction that's turned into that?
I have, yes. And he's one of my, best clients and best friends to this day.
That's crazy.
He is in the process of buying a couple cars right now. We have one on order that's coming in the end of the year. Cannot wait for that car to come in. But
can you share what kind of car it is?
The new SF90 Spider, all black.
That's nice. Good spec.
Good spec.
I love when someone doesn't do a red.
I think he's showing you a picture of that one. Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect the not doing a red Ferrari.
Yeah, he initially had it spec'd red, and I said, don't do
Oh, you
red.
helped him. You saved him.
Don't do the red. He was like, okay, you spec it for me. I said, good, because we're not doing a red one. Like, get that out of your head.
I feel like, and you can definitely tell me way better, but I feel like non-red Ferraris hold an increased value better than, I mean, usually just red.
And the SF doesn't look good in red, in my opinion.
depends,
Apologize to anyone who has one, but I don't like the
I
red
agree.
SF. I like it in almost any other color besides red.
That's like we were talking about the F50. When you get to a certain level of where a car looks so crazy, it almost looks better in a more muted color.
Yes.
It's already
Yes.
like it's crazy enough as it is. Why not leave it silver? Like a silver F50 looks amazing.
Black F50 looks like the Batmobile.
Yes,
Black
it
cars,
does.
it's hard to make a black car look bad, to be honest.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just
Unless
always a
paint
go-to
swirl.
for me. Yeah, well, you take care of it. It doesn't happen.
Hard to keep black cars like perfectly clean. They just show so much like little micro scratching.
I have a great example of that in the driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a black WRX that I moved to getting mostly like whitish silver cars because you can just almost never wash them, which is bad. Don't do that. But
bad
if
at
you were to not wash it, hypothetically, it looks pretty good.
Yes. I always seem to get like darker colored cars, black cars. I had a brown Mini Cooper at one point.
That's cool.
Whoa, that's
like
cool.
Yeah.
I've had so many silver cars. I'm like always bored by the idea of silver, but silver cars look good.
do
Like,
look
good.
they
They look
shows
really
the
good.
body line. Every time I see a silver car in person, like especially like I want a 997.2 right now. Every time I see a .2 Carrera S in silver, I'm like, that looks damn good in silver.
Yes,
But when I
yes.
think about scrolling online, I'm like, I don't want silver. That's for sure. You know?
What do you guys think the worst possible color? Like it doesn't matter the car, but like what's a color that doesn't look good consistently on all cars?
Lime
Like
green.
what car do you hate? Color do you hate? I feel like I really dislike red, honestly. I feel like it's played out.
I think the specific type of red that is the worst is like all regular consumer cars have that like burgundy metallic color.
Yeah.
Like every single
like that
car comes in that color. It's like the same paint.
Are you thinking of
code.
like the Mazda dark red?
like red? Yeah,
I like
just
that color.
like the darkish red.
I hate
Whoa,
a
man.
bright non-metallic red.
Yeah.
I literally
I prefer like a guards red to like a burgundy.
I
man.
love a dark red. I'm the opposite. Like my favorite color of all time is I think. Oh, you flicked it on me, bro. How did you do that?
He's away, man. He's away. Sorry.
It's like the really deep Ferrari AAA red. I don't like bright red Ferraris, but if I were to get one, it'd be like what the animal abuse. I'll continue. Or
Sorry.
carmine red on a Porsche. I don't like bright reds. My least favorite though by far is bright green. I have even on an Aventador, which is like the car that everyone likes in that color. I would never do it in a million years. Bright green cars to me they always look like stupid tennis balls, and I hate it.
Dude, even signal yellow. What's the green?
Verde or Viper green, signal green is a color. I hate them.
Yeah.
Throw them out.
They're
Yeah,
too
I
loud
agree.
all the time.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Like you can never turn that color off.
Yeah,
If you know what I
drive
mean?
somewhere and they're like, oh, the green car. You know? Even yellow is like, oh, that's the yellow GT3 that lives
Yeah.
down the street. But like the green one
Yeah,
is crazy.
yeah.
Also,
you know?
if you're speeding, you're done for. Someone
Oh,
calls
it's
you
game
in, they
over.
know
It's
who
game
they're
over.
talking about.
Same with bright
They're like,
red.
well, it's the
Yeah.
bright green car.
Yeah. Even bright
no
red.
hiding.
There's other bright reds out there, but
Yeah.
like bright green, man. You gotta
Verde
be some.
Mantis.
You
It's
gotta
a
be
lot.
some type of person.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Green button green.
Curtis,
Don't get it.
what's the worst car you've ever owned? And why?
And why was it the Saab? I'm just kidding.
Wish I could say it was the worst car I've ever owned. How about I run you through the
Give us-
list
yeah.
of things I've owned?
And
I'll tell you.
Exactly.
Just rattle them off, quick style.
right.
I'll stop you when I find one I hate.
All
I want to hear them all first, and then I'll decide what I think is the worst.
Here we go. Green on tan
Already bad.
97 Toyota T100.
Pickup truck?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, that's cool. No,
It's like the precursor to the Tundra.
That's
it's
properly
Oh, okay,
cool.
actually, yeah.
Okay,
That's cool.
That was your first car.
First car.
Good. That's starting off strong.
I know. And then I went to a 95 Toyota Corolla. It was tan on brown.
Does
Whoa.
the job.
Put some subwoofers in the
Mochaccino.
back. It was. subwoofers in the back, LEDs on the front.
Oh, yeah.
LED turn signal mirrors, courtesy of AutoZone.
Oh, nice.
These are good details. We need these
Yeah,
details.
have the details.
That makes it better.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Then I said, you know what? I don't want this car anymore. Let me sell it and get myself a red on black 97 Chevy Cavalier 2-door 5-speed with 18-inch ADR wheels on it.
Oh,
It was
he
hot.
must have rode terrible.
Oh, it was god awful.
Yeah.
The temp gauge was always in the red, but
nice.
it never overheated.
That's
so
good.
I
It's
don't know
running
what's going on with that. Yeah,
Hmm.
that car needed some help. I remember I locked myself out of that car, and it was so cheap. Just grabbed the door and put a coat hanger in and unlocked the door.
We've
So-
been
Oh
there.
yeah.
we've had to do that
terrible,
before.
terrible safety ratings.
We've
My parents like, get rid of
discovered
this car.
how to unlock cars. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some ways around that.
Yeah.
And then after
Kia
that, I said, you know
boys.
what? It's time to mature a little bit. Let me go get a 97. There's like a theme here with 97s here. I don't know why.
Great year.
97 Nissan Maxima, black on black, 5-speed, black
bro.
leather, sunroof,
So you were
204,000
going-
miles
Pause
on it
right
when I
there.
bought
Let me
it.
pause right there.
Yeah.
You were flying down the right down the right lane in that car, and the
Menace.
body roll was just dangerous.
It was terrible. Car left me stranded in the blizzard twice.
Nice.
Like, it was terrible.
It only worked right if you're going with no. You're just changing lanes at 150.
That
That's
was
the
it.
only way
That
they
was
work.
it.
Expired registration.
That did happen once. Yes,
That's
that did.
every
Okay,
Maxima.
so we've got the Maxima.
I've been
Yep.
there.
And then I said, you know what? I love my Maxima so much that I'm gonna go buy a 2004 Nissan Maxima.
Yeah.
Blue on black.
I had
Okay.
2005.
Hey,
So you were
manual
maturing a
V6.
little bit.
A little bit. Had been
out
in
of
an
the out of the
accident,
far
you know.
right lane and passing on the middle right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's passing on the shoulder.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Maxima is the shoulder special.
It's shoulder. I didn't go Altima. I had to go Maxima.
Okay.
So went from that, and I was like, you know what? The car needs some help. Transmission was a little like on it. So went from that to my first Saab, 2005 9.3.
Nice.
classic.
9.3.
You went from the transmission needing help to everything.
everything needing help. Everything needing help. After the 05, had the 08 9.3, then a 2016 Mini Cooper Countryman S.
Cool.
It's a good car.
6-speed, a lot of fun.
That's a fun car.
My dad
very
has a
fun.
JCW Countryman.
That was what I wanted next. Wanted that next, and then went from that to a Mercedes C300 Sport, black on black, and then 2016.
Okay,
And then
W205.
traded that to my C43 AMG that I have
Yeah,
now.
the C300 is. I wish I had an AMG kind of.
That was
car.
it. It looked like an AMG. Everyone's like, you have an AMG. It had the AMG wheels. And I'm like,
I
it
wish
is
I had the more
not an
AMG
AMG.
car.
Exactly.
That's a weird, yeah. Up until you get an E60.
You need a
Exactly.
C63 next.
I
You do.
know.
It's
I
the-
sat in
you
one
have
the
to
other
have
day.
the last one.
I did sit in one, and I said, you know what? That needs to happen when I close
Yeah.
a few more deals. That's gonna be the company car. So
Oh, there you go.
That's
What's your if you?
Dude, those are coming down right now.
I know.
Good buy
I
right now,
know.
the
I saw one in
205s.
matte gray, and I kind of like the matte colors on
Those
the
are
AMG.
good money
so
now. They're
there are
not
lots
bad.
to take care of, but I really like the color.
The
mean, it's
205s though, they're not
Yeah.
too bad.
I know.
It's just
not
such a
bad.
good
That
car.
40
You'll
years-
have so much fun.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Every time I drive by it, I'm like,
They're a lot more reliable than the one that I had.
I'm an
so-
I'm an E63 wagon
Me too.
Yeah,
Those
well,
are so much
those are
fun.
hot.
Yeah.
dreamer.
Those are hot.
Yeah.
My
Were you
girlfriend
on-
disagrees with me, but I think those are some of the sexiest cars ever.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, every
What?
time I see it, I'm like, this is hot. She's like, nah, really? I'm like, there's something about that car.
Dude, there's something
Girls don't
about-
get that.
Girls
She was
don't
like, yeah.
understand wagons.
Yeah.
They just don't.
No.
She's like, why do you want that? And I
My
was
mom
like,
has
trust
that.
me. Trust me.
I like
Yeah.
wagons.
We'll go for a
man.
ride, and you're like, whoa, like this is awesome.
Yeah, and if we ever have kids together, your kids
is
are
it.
getting to soccer practice real quick.
Really, really quick.
Yeah,
Really quick.
we're never gonna be late.
All right, we're sidetracked. I think your worst car is undoubtedly that. Is it a Cavalier? That Chevy? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
I would-
it's the
I-
Cavalier.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's the Cavalier.
It got to a
man.
point where I was actually embarrassed to pull up anywhere in that car because I'm like,
That's
this looked
bad.
ridiculous.
It's a bad feeling.
It is a bit of a ridiculous.
It was,
car.
and it was like during my weird high school phase too. So I was going through like this, I always
Whole
wore my
change in
track and
life.
field jacket, and I had the
Yeah.
flat brim and white sunglasses. I wore them everywhere. I don't know why.
I can see it.
No idea why.
girls
You
love that
Chevy
thing.
Cavaliered around with your hand top
did.
dead center on the
I
steering
did
wheel.
top dead center.
Yeah.
No, it
Came
was
out the
always out
back.
of alignment, so like top was like over here.
The girls love that.
Seat
thing.
Oh, they
extra
did.
leaned back.
It
Just,
did. Yeah, the spoiler had a little rattle in it.
Yeah.
Paint peeling in the center. Yeah,
As it's overheating, but
was
not
great.
really.
It was overheating, but never really overheated. I mean, it was fun. It was really fun.
How many cars have you had in total? Do you know off the top
How many
of your
was
head?
that?
Sounds
Let's
like
see.
9.
T100, Corolla, Cavalier, 2 Maximas, 2 Saabs, Countryman, C300, C410.
Okay.
So if the business does well, what's the car you really truly want the most? Like dream
When the
car.
business
Hell
when the
well are we
business does
talking?
Well,
You could buy something,
Like
reasonable supercar.
Reasonable
What's your reasonable,
supercar.
like under 300K
Okay. See, everyone, it's tough.
for the first supercar. Then the next one you can get at 500K, whatever. But the first one,
your
your first supercar.
gonna have to go 911. I'm not sure which one yet. Everyone always
There we
says
go.
911, but like I've driven so many. I love them. I think it's one of the more reliable, hop in and go kind of supercars.
can do whatever you want,
I'd
man.
have to go with a 911.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's smart.
Can't blame
Smart answer for this group.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is that you pleased us.
You're appealing to the crowd.
911, and then like if I have it my way, a Ferrari, F12, 458, 488 Pista. If I really am killing it, LaFerrari. But
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you and Will get along
gotta
well
have a
then on
net
that
worth
stuff.
of probably a Billy or
Or just
700
enough to
million.
buy it
Yeah,
and
just
sleep in it.
enough. Just enough. Yeah,
You could put a roof tent on that.
that's fine.
It's like a house.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll go up in value.
that's true. That's very
So
true.
you're going to be all right. It's like it's an investment.
Exactly.
Sell whatever, stop renting, sell whatever house, live in
Sell
the LaFerrari.
everything. Yeah, right arm.
I think it's honestly a 50-50 split between Porsche people. Half of Porsche people are like Porsche until the Ferrari, and the other half are like Porsche until another Porsche until the
yes.
other Porsche.
Porsche until
Yes.
another Porsche.
And for me,
Porsche into
I think
Ferrari.
I'd always like to have a Porsche around, but for me, the second the Ferrari is attainable,
I want that.
I just want a
I
Ferrari.
want like the screaming V12
Yeah.
or like the old school
V8,
458.
yeah.
Even
like,
the V8, man.
the V8
It
it still
just
sounds so good. Yeah.
V8
It's hard to beat a
Like
Ferrari.
a
It
good
is.
360 is
Oh,
just so
manual
good.
360.
I know.
Not even that expensive either. Like,
We've had a
John
crashed
had
one for a
and it's-
great deal.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want a Ferrari.
I know.
And then Will goes to Bugatti after that. I start to drop
I-
off.
I
Bugatti
skip.
after.
I'm not a big Koenigsegg guy. I like a Pagani. I probably wouldn't buy one, but for me, the Bugatti is just
That's it.
Chiron pure sport. I don't think there's a cooler car.
I
Are
start
you
going
gonna
to
wake
old
up in a
stuff.
new Bugatti?
I would wake up. in
Okay,
it, yeah.
all right, just check.
I just sleep in it if I got it.
I
First
just
night.
I start like my dream car has been a 997 Dodge GT3 RS. Sort of goes without saying for me, but once I get that, it's all gonna be probably sub 2005 cars. Almost all of them are.
I love
and
old stuff,
probably
yeah.
mostly older cars that I attempt to make a little bit more modern. Slash if I have the money, resto mods, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, me and Will saw it the other day, and they've been growing on me so much, and I really want one. But those like S129 like SLs, the Mercedes makes.
R129.
R129.
Yeah.
Sorry, the R129s with like the monoblocks with the hard top.
Those are hot.
Oh, that's such, I don't know. It's like not really the best
just
car.
cruise
but
in
it's
that.
just a
You're just
vibe
cruising.
car.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
racing. You're just
Once
chilling.
you have
I'm
a
just gonna hang
GT3,
out.
you get a car to just cruise.
Just sit
Yeah,
back.
I want to just
relax.
hang out in that thing.
Yes, yes.
V12. So you still get that smooth engine when you want to get on it a little bit. No exhaust. Keep it all
Yeah.
factory.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
That's quite the
good
that's
car.
quite the automobile.
it really is.
Yeah, there's a lot of like 80s and 90s cars that I'm into. There's like very few modern cars that pique my interest. Which is I don't know. Do you find a lot of your clients are looking for newer supercars, or is there like a good amount looking for like some older classic stuff?
Definitely older classic. Depending on my clients, some are looking for the more modern stuff. Like I have someone looking for a Urus, and some looking for a GT3 Touring, and it really depends. But yeah, definitely when you get past a certain year, they're kind of like, I don't know.
That's fair. It's harder probably to track down the old stuff. The new stuff is just like harder to track down the spec you're looking for.
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
the deal.
Yes.
Well, you
Or
also,
the deal.
you also don't want to displease a client by getting like if you find the right spec Ferrari for somebody, relatively new, odds are it's going to be well maintained. But if you're trying to find someone, an older car, like say you're trying to find someone of an Alpha GTA, right? You have no idea. Like you might find that car for someone and it might have so many problems. Like,
yeah.
and then you're
That's
kind of
scary.
in hot water for finding them the wrong car, even if
Yeah.
it's not your fault, right? So
It's always good for when you're working with those cars to have a brick and mortar business, so you can get the car in and service it.
Exactly.
Like a lot of the times with the car curating business, just from the people I've spoken to, you want to like buy those kind of cars from like a place that's gone through them all. already.
Exactly,
You wouldn't-
exactly.
like that's a scary car to get for someone from a private seller.
That's really
You might
scary.
know a lot about cars. I know you know a lot about cars, but like
There's certain things.
You can't go and look at that car and just be like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Even you could drive it for 10 minutes, it's great. In the next 10 minutes, everything breaks down.
Exactly.
Like you're saying, it's a
We'll
scary
send independent
thing to get.
inspectors too.
You do?
Some dealerships I work with, if I'm trying to find a car for them, or like we're looking for some clients and we're working on a deal together, they'll send an inspector to the car who knows that particular car.
Gotcha.
And can say, this is good, this is bad.
An expert.
And like, yeah.
Do you want to ever have like your own showroom, like an actual location? Is that maybe like a goal of yours?
100%.
That'd be
100%.
cool.
I want to have like a social club, like a car club, do cars and coffee,
Nice.
Car storage, and then also do like the
Simulator
dealership.
stuff.
Oh, gotta have simulators.
Free
yeah.
passes for us.
Of course. Of course.
Thinking
You already
design.
know. Anyone in this room gets it. You guys are good.
Well, this is a good connection to make because in the near future we're all going to be probably searching for very specific cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know very soon I'm going to be looking for a very specific 911. So nice to meet you.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
You get to finding crash cars. We need some.
Yeah. If you can convince
do that.
anyone to crash something and then give it to us for a good deal, maybe, and then that would be good.
Probably make that happen. I'll make some calls.
Yeah. This is our guy, right?
Yeah. Wreck this one. Yeah.
Yeah. See, we can't really afford a lot of stuff, but if it's crashed,
You're all good.
yeah, it brings a
all
lot of
good.
value down.
Exactly. We could arrange that.
Yeah, as long as it like runs still.
Yeah.
We're not
that's
afraid
it.
of a little work.
That's it.
All right. I hate to make this podcast about me because this podcast is about you, but I have a problem.
Whoa.
I have a problem right now that I think that you all can help with. And
Okay,
while
yeah.
I have you seated,
We're here.
I need a daily driver because right now, if you can see, I don't know if you can see, I'm greasy because I'm working on the Porsche and it's my
greasy.
only car
Greasy
right
guy.
now. It's up on a friend's lift. I'm borrowing their car. It's a nightmare. It's my daily driver. I need something under $25,000, manual transmission, reliable.
97 Chevy Cavalier.
Oh God, no!
We could probably track that down, couldn't we?
Oh God.
I went through that exact same decision that you just went through right now. Under 25K, manual, and sort of reliable. And I ended up with my
Sort of
S4.
reliable, you say?
But
Sort of.
I bought a warranty with it, so it can be sort of reliable because I didn't have to pay to fix it.
So S4 from you?
I like that car. It's
S4's a solid
hard to
car.
find a manual one.
It is.
But you can find it. There were a few more for sale. I got a really good deal on mine. I honestly don't think for a manual one, you'll be any reasonable mileage under 25 grand. Mine was 25 grand. And it's because the dealership I went to literally didn't even have it listed as a manual. And they didn't have it listed as the color it was. They had no idea what they had, to be honest. They just had no clue. So I think I got kind of lucky finding a manual one because the manual ones already, which is kind of weird for a car of that age, they're already worth a lot more just because, like I said, only 5% of the B8.5 facelift S4s are manual. I love it. It is a phenomenal car for a daily driver. It's super comfortable. Stereo's great. It's really nice, like great in the snow. So I actually, like I said, you and I have very similar tastes in cars, and I went through this decision of what is a good manual daily driver under 25 grand. That's what I landed on. The other things I was looking at though, which are actually much cheaper now, a manual Golf R, like a Mark 7.
That's not bad.
That's probably, if I could go back again and pick it, I actually might even pick that over the S4.
I don't mind it, but I have weirdly something like
He
that
hates-
I don't.
it's 'cause I have a
about
GTI.
Golfs. It's not because you have a GTI.
That's why I
just
went with the S4.
I'm just not a big Volkswagen guy. Like even though they own everything and they are
Careful what you
Porsche,
say, man.
Like I'm not a big
gonna-
Volkswagen guy.
That's why I went with the S4
sniped.
over that
and,
car.
and to be honest with you, like another thing I didn't say is it does not have to be practical. I don't care. I don't
Get like
care
an
if it's a
M235
two-door.
then.
Like I was
He
thinking
was like S2000.
I will.
Practical.
Here's the thing: like, it would go up in value if I got a low enough mileage.
It would just not be a
example.
good daily.
It would just be not very good.
What about like an M235?
Good choice.
You can get those under 25 manual, decent mileage. I mean, you're getting an N55 car. It won't
Yeah,
be
it
the
would have
most
to be.
reliable car. And the problem with those is the manual transmissions do have some issues.
Thoughts?
But it's a great car.
I know someone that can help you with this process. It sounds painful.
It is painful. It is
How would you
painful.
like that to be, the pain to be eased?
I had someone who was looking for something around your budget. I mean, it was like 30,000 ish, but they want to stay around like 24, 25,000. And I was sending them S4s. It had to be manual as well. S4s, 335s, kind of anything along those lines. And they loved it. So I think you're in the right ballpark with the S4 for sure. That's definitely one of the cars I wish I had the chance to own because I've wanted that car for so long.
You buy mine.
I could
Trade you.
I could.
It doesn't need a new.
It's like
clutch.
a real oddball one that would still fit in that category.
That's a hard category to
540i.
Real oddball. Oh, that's just the
Especially
worst.
now in this
E39
market.
540i.
Keyword is reliable. Like that's why I originally said S2000, and not obviously that I would go buy a S2000 as a daily driver.
They're also
but
not
still,
that reliable.
Like, yeah,
Everyone I know with
nothing
S2000
is
is
reliable.
Yeah.
Nothing is reliable.
I think fun is reliable. Reliability and fun.
They don't mix
usually
well.
don't shake hands.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Like
curious
those
to see what the
540i's
market's
are.
like right now for those under
E39
$25,000.
540i, bro, those are horrible.
You just forget about the problems and keep driving.
So don't even go.
You don't keep driving. That's the problem.
They break.
I don't know, man.
The problem is
Honestly, 128i and save the money.
128i is not.
That's a reliable car.
Or, bro, Z4 regular. Yeah.
regular.
Nice.
Z4 coupe regular. Great car.
Regular manual, bro. Nick sent me one that was 15 grand
Those
yesterday.
are good. E91 wagon manual. Any
Right.
car with the
I was
N52
looking
will
for that
be
for a
dead
while.
reliable.
Yeah.
Those things don't really have issues. It's
Yeah.
like the one BMW you can kind of get away with beating on.
Yeah. And Z4, it looks good. In my
And they're
If-
fun too.
anybody in the comments has any ideas on this because there's probably something we're missing. Please drop a comment because
Yeah, drop
curious.
a comment. Help me.
Help Noah.
Me. Help me. I have
I like
right
that
now,
Z4 coupe idea though. I'm biased, but I do like that
bro,
idea.
Z4
That's a cool car.
Yeah.
Are you looking for like any particular mileage?
he's on the case.
We got him in
Hopefully
work mode
under
now.
100,000 miles.
Oh, perfect. 96,000 for 16,700.
Just under.
Manual white S4.
Manual white S4 for $16,000.
It's in
Something's
Plymouth.
off.
I have problems.
Thanks, bro.
What year is it?
It's probably
14.
crashed.
14? That's crazy.
That's a deal.
Rebuilt title.
There we
Modified stage 2. This
Bro, but
thing,
do I really care
500
about
horsepower.
a rebuild title?
Not really. It's just going to make it hard to
If
get
it's
rid
your,
of.
yeah.
500 horsepower.
It's going to make it hard to get rid of when you want to get rid of it. That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
It's hard to get rid of, and it won't go up in value, and
It honestly still might. Those manual S4s,
Yeah.
no, I don't think it'll go down much, but you will cross over 100,000 miles with it.
yeah.
Here's one with 101,000, 24,500, 2014 S4.
Damn, I really sold
Stone and
mine, huh?
Mass.
White. I like white too.
I got a good deal on mine.
Bro, now
25, 60,000 miles.
now Nick, if you're watching this, now I'm sort of on that Z4
I like
coupe
those.
train.
I mean, again, highly biased, but I
solid
do
choice.
like that car a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They look good.
Have you ever, just to circle back to you, well, drop a comment for Noah. Try to help him out if we can come up with something. I'll keep
Find
my
us
thoughts.
some cars on Auto Tempest. Seriously, find Noah a car on Auto Tempest using our link. Send it to
Please,
us.
if you
Yeah,
find me a
I
car,
will put the comment-
If
the
you find
link
me a
down there.
car and I buy it, what should we give the person? We'll
A case of Red Bull.
we have a
we
lot.
will reply to every comment you ever make on our podcast.
Whoa, yeah.
That's a big
I'll let
thing.
Noah
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
we'll get the login.
Yeah, I will.
Noah will
We'll
give you a
we'll
ride
send
in his car.
We'll send you a hoodie. If you find a car that Noah buys, we'll send you a hoodie.
That's-
Make sure it's
that's
in
a
the
fact.
Boston-ish area so we can check it out, maybe.
Send
But-
send all of them to my
Send them to
Instagram.
Torque Motor Car so we can
And
take a commission.
say this car is
Yeah, yeah.
this car is for Noah.
I'll throw a hoodie in too.
All right,
All
so
right,
you
there we
get
go.
2 hoodies if you find it. So go use the link down in the
hoodies.
description
You'll be
for Auto
tripping.
Tempest and find a car, send it to us. But I was gonna say, have you ever had a client? This just popped in my head. Have you ever had a client that's just like looking for something and you can't say that you don't like it, but you really don't like the car that they want to get?
Oh, for sure.
You're like,
I'm
oh, not that. But you
finding an
you
Evoque.
couldn't convince them either. Like convince them otherwise.
I don't want to react and say, ugh.
You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because
good.
it's their dream car. It's my job.
Man,
to
I
put them in
really,
their
I
dream
really
car.
want a 2010 Range Rover Evoque. Can you
Yeah.
find me one?
You're like,
Oh no, sorry.
I'm looking for a kumquat green Murano Cross Cabriolet.
Hey man,
That's hard.
at that point, I'm quitting. Yeah, I'm
cross
out.
cab, bro.
Cross cab.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I've had some with like interesting specs, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't know if that's it, but I can't say
I can't
that.
find it.
But
Sorry.
Yeah, I looked everywhere.
I found this one though, and it's
Yeah,
great. You'd
yeah,
love it.
Yeah.
Not that spec.
I
That's
definitely had
crazy.
like interesting colors and just things where I'm like, I don't know if you want that, but
You think you want it,
but
nah.
I won't steer them in the wrong direction. I'll find them the best possible example of that car.
Yeah.
You're just doing your
course,
job.
yeah.
You'll
Just
do
my
what you
job.
can.
It's my job to be the advisor and the consultant
Yep.
and say,
You'll tell them resale value.
I will.
On a lime green Ferrari
Yes,
probably
yes.
isn't so great.
I will also present like option B and C and say, since you're considering this, what about this as well to see if there's interest in going this way.
For sure.
That's
or if
fair.
they're picking a car that's just downright unreliable or something. I say, let's not even look at that unless you know you're going to be in the shop and you're okay with that.
That's fair.
But, yeah.
I want a CPO, not non-CPO Maserati Ghibli.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to buy it maybe 80,000 miles. What do you tell me?
Yeah.
I
Let's
would
walk through a
say
scenario.
You might be able to find something a little better for your money. I'm open to doing whatever you want to do, but just be ready to potentially have some headaches.
Yeah, that's a great
here.
car for Noah. A
There it
Ghibli. You can get one early
Reliable.
Ghibli, 18 grand.
Yeah.
It's reliable if you completely lose your mind and you think
Although
something
honestly,
that it
those
is
ones
reliable.
aren't that unreliable.
No, that's fair.
I'd have to just go Ferrari if I had I don't know. I don't think I could do Maserati. I like the way they look. I love the way they sound. Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day, actually. I think that the later of because there's new Gran Turismo now. It doesn't have the V8. I think the final years of that gen Gran Turismo, the MC Sportline, which is the highest trim we got here with the cool bumpers, the nicer updated interior. I think that's a car that will actually appreciate at some point, because I look at those and it's like a direct competitor to a Vantage.
Yeah.
But you can find a good MC Sportline car for 30 grand. They do look amazing. One of the best looking modern cars, in my opinion. They're actually so pretty, and they sound so good.
They do.
And they're not. If you get one with the later with the automatic, the non sequential manual transmission thing, they're not bad.
I have a 2015 for sale, a white on black one. And that one's going right now. It's probably, I don't know, 40K, 35K, something like that.
I think it's a lot of car for the money.
badass. Yeah.
It's it looks really expensive. It sounds better than most cars that you can buy for that much money. And it drives nice. I got to drive one and it's not bad. I just think that they just get hate for being an old Maserati, because Maserati has built themselves the worst brand image ever since they unveiled the Ghibli.
The problem is that the company has been sold 11 times. So whatever the brand identity was has just been lost
It's erased.
in the
It's
chaos.
erased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're it's just a profit machine now for whoever owns it. It's this is our exotic extension for Stellantis, and they're just it makes money. This
They
is a
own Ferrari
printing
too,
machine.
which is the weird part.
I know.
Yeah, it's odd.
I have a weird question. Would you rather have one Maserati that works beautifully all the time, perfectly reliable, or a garage with 3 Porsches that always have problems? Always have problems. You
the
cannot.
Maserati.
Give me the Maserati.
The Maserati.
I love driving too much. I'd be pissed off.
I
Yeah.
take the Porsches.
I'm
I'm used to it.
Oh my God.
I'm used to
If
it.
it's the Maserati,
Then I could just
What if
take
it's an
the-
MC12?
Well, okay, no.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
talking Ghibli.
Oh no, probably I'd have.
I just can't be I have a client call and they say, go look at this car for me. I'm like, hold on, I got to change my whole engine in the garage.
Actually-
and then I can come meet you. and I break down 6 times on the way.
They always run, but there's one of them, at least one of them always runs.
He's
Sorry,
speaking
this is
from
adjusting.
pure experience right now.
At least one of them always runs, but it's always at least a super annoying problem.
Sounds like my Saabs. I guess I could probably handle that.
I was just thinking, actually, maybe we would want the 911s because it makes for better content. Every day we can be our engine blew up, on one of them.
Kind of what I'm dealing with
I
right
just wonder
now.
if the car guy, if I could show up with the thing just falling apart and not running.
No one can do that.
Did you see the picture of my brake pad and rotor?
No.
Oh,
We'll throw it on the
bad.
screen.
We'll
for
throw
you
it on the
guys.
screen
I
for all
can't
you
wait. I
out
can't
there.
wait.
This is embarrassing, everybody.
It's bad.
This is embarrassing. Never, ever.
I've never
let it
seen
get
one
like
so
this.
bad, actually.
Never let
in my
it get
entire
like
life.
this. Oh. That's the pad down to the
Yeah,
middle.
it's kind of non-existent.
Down to the middle. and it's against the rotor. I don't know if you can see, that's a...
What noise was that making?
Oh, bro.
Oh, horrible.
I'll give you the noise. I'll show you the noise. A light tap of the brakes.
It was also it became part of the rotor. The two combined.
Oh, my God.
You
Welded
drove it a
together.
shocking amount for how much that was bad.
Dude, that was going on
Noah for
like
weeks has been
2
I need to
weeks.
change my brakes.
Dude, that has been going on for 2 weeks, man.
There was no brake
and he
left.
drives it everywhere. It's not like
I have no choice. It's my daily driver. That's why I need a daily driver. And you
You need a
to
daily
go to,
for your daily.
Yes. You need to go send me a link from Auto Tempest.
That would be the right thing to do, I would say.
Yeah.
God.
So what's your most controversial car opinion?
that is a good one.
Do you have one?
Ooh.
Does this get us in trouble?
I mean, you can
know.
think.
I got to think
What's
on
yours
that
and
one.
what's yours, and I'll give
I'm
mine.
curious.
What's mine? I got to think about that. I asked the question.
I have one.
You have one?
I hate Koenigsegg's.
Oof.
I just hate them. I think they're dumb and they never work. And I know people that have that problem. I think, here's the thing. I think they would be so cool if they could properly execute everything they're going for. But because they come with the ideas, we want this manual transmission that's also an automatic transmission and the car can fly. And they make it and it works at first. But then, like, I spoke to people on a Koenigsegg rally and they were just like, yeah, my car never works. There's always something wrong. This guy was like, yeah, mine has no traction control right now. He's driving this 1,200 horsepower Agera RS. He's like, yeah, it has no traction control.
You can't drive
the
that.
week before that, it had no this, no ABS. And there's always a problem with those cars to the point where it's just like, there's no support for them anywhere. So like if it breaks, what do? You send it back
Send it
to
to Europe.
there's a Koenigsegg service place in Koenigsegg Boston, McLaren Boston. They do service Koenigsegg's. All the cars that are within a 2-day drive radius are always there because the cars never work. And I just think that it's stupid. And I think their concepts, they look great as an idea. Koenigsegg's are so cool. But like why I always tell people I'd much rather Bugattis because you get in a Chiron, it turns on every day because it's a Volkswagen underneath. It's a Porsche. It's all those cars are like you literally can drive a Chiron every single day. You could daily drive that car and you wouldn't have a problem. The early Veyrons maybe not because those cars were like trial concepts. But I think Koenigseggs are dumb because they never work. And they like literally it's just like, I don't know, stupid to me.
I have mine.
You can get up, Kevin, if you need to, by the way. Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I think all McLarens, except for the F1 and the P1, are ugly.
I agree with that too.
Incredibly
We're going to get in trouble for this one.
bad looking cars.
I don't even like the P1 that much. I just like the F1.
I would say they're kind of boring.
I'm all right.
They're
Ugly.
fast. They handle well. I look at it and I'm not that impressed
Never
by
wanted
the
a McLaren.
car,
People
but I
who are
know
like-
how they drive.
Yeah, people who are like, I want a 720S. That's my dream car. I'm like, don't you want a Ferrari instead?
Yeah,
like,
literally.
isn't that?
Or
isn't
I'd rather an Aventador. Like,
Yeah.
God.
I'll take a California T over a
Literally.
720S, bro.
I do not like
I might
McLarens.
get like executed for this one, but the Toyota Supra and the R34 aren't that cool.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
R32
I think-
GTR is cool.
Like, look, they're
still don't know
cool.
them, but
There's
they're
a cool
cool.
factor to them, no doubt. But they're so incredibly overhyped, and everyone just like
And overpriced.
and so who could pay over $150,000 for a Supra?
R34 is like $250,000.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
give me a 458 or something.
All day.
Golly.
Yeah. All day.
And another car.
Sorry to all the people who love those
No,
cars.
I'm not
I
sorry.
do.
No.
I don't apologize.
I will apologize because I know people love them. It's not that I dislike them. I just think they're far overhyped.
I just like them.
I would definitely agree with you on the McLaren thing for sure. I think they're cool to look at. They're not that exciting to look at. They're too technical. There's no like soul behind it.
I think they have the same problem that I was describing with the Koenigsegg too, is they don't really work very well.
No,
It's
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah. The
You 720S, they're fast when they turn on.
Yeah.
Half the time they won't recognize the keys in them.
like,
So they just won't turn on.
This
Yeah.
is only like I've only just heard this passed down, but I've heard that the McLaren ownership experience is just like awful and that service is bad. Like I don't want to just like say that because I know that different mechanics, different dealerships, and different cars, different owners are all gonna have different experiences. But
Yeah.
I've heard overall negative things about the ownership experience of McLarens.
I rarely have any clients come to me looking for McLaren.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It's Lambo, Ferrari.
Is Lamborghini
Maserati.
what's more, Lamborghini or Ferrari more requested?
I'd say a lot more Ferrari than Lamborghini.
Gotcha. Harder to get.
Harder to get. Yeah.
Lamborghini makes it a little too easy, maybe.
And depending on like my
Not
clientele, they're older. You know, they can be middle aged and older, and they want to pull up to an event in a Ferrari a little more like subdued, a little more like I guess classy, for lack of a better term, versus like a big loud Aventador or something like that. Like
That's fair.
They can hop out of that. They can hop out of a nice Ferrari in a suit and be all right. But it looks a
Maybe-
little different in the Lambo.
Maybe I've been watching like too much Succession, but I feel like if I was old and had a lot of money, I would want to like pull up in a S-Class, like a black S-Class.
Yeah, blacked out S class.
I actually have a.
Just today. Are we back recording? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, do you guys mind if I ask the question real quick?
Go ahead.
So, my friend is looking for his first supercar, wants to keep it under $200,000. And he was looking mainly at like Huracans and 458s and 488s. Found a really nice Huracan. It was a LP580. I had the bucket seats actually. But then we threw a little wrench into the mix of a really nice SLS coupe.
Ooh.
And I suddenly decided that I like the SLS more than a 458 or a Huracan.
I personally would go with the 458, but I have not. I haven't driven either a 458 or an SLS.
Yeah,
What are the other options?
Huracan.
So the thing is,
it's
for
a
me,
Huracan, but-
for me, if I had to pick it, I'd probably, I actually, weirdly, I would go with a 488 over a 458 personally. I just like the 488 a lot. But, and after hearing a Novatec exhaust one, that's when changed my mind. Because I realized you can make it sound almost as good as the naturally aspirated V8. And then when for me, after you get to the area, I'm getting sidetracked, but after you get to the area of where cars aren't manual anymore, they're all just going for speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just want the fastest one.
Yeah.
But regardless, the SLS, like suddenly, so he's not a huge fast driver. He just wants something that like is nice. It's like, and then the SLS for me was just.
What's he like?
That's a good.
He likes cars, but he doesn't drive hard. He's not going to track it.
An SLS,
so like,
yeah.
for that
I
car,
think for daily driving,
Yeah.
like you're gonna want that over a 458.
If you're not, because I was
you're
thinking
not really that into cars,
yeah,
get that.
Yes.
it's the best one in my opinion. It's the coolest one to pull up in because you just go.
yeah.
I think the SLS has a cool factor because it's not like, I think if you're going to pick out of them, like you're going to drop the Ferrari out because the Ferrari is like much more raw.
Mm-hmm.
The Huracan is almost like the Huracan's so daily drivable. It's so reliable. It's the Honda Civic of supercars.
Yes.
But the problem I think becomes that if you're not a huge car person, the Huracan is tight and not that comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
The SLS is like very classy and
Luxury, but
comfortable, like much more around. That's a Grand Touring car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the SLS would be so cool.
I was after that. I was like, dang, I really want.
If he
SLS
doesn't
again.
really care about the performance as much, like the SLS sounds like a good bet.
That's what I was
Perfect.
thinking too.
SLS.
Yeah.
We parked. Remember, we were at a car show recently, and there was an SLS just street parked. And we're like, oh, that is a
They're just
cool car.
beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
nice. I had to park near that. I was in an AMG GTR, and I was like, safe bet to park here by the SLS. We're probably okay here.
There's like when I'm in a parking lot, like I choose the cars that I feel like probably won't slam their doors into my car.
100%.
Yeah, so don't park near me.
Yeah, he'll slam
I
his
always
door
hit
into your
Phil's car with my door.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Just
Heinous thing to do.
just like,
So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, show us.
on would you guys pay $82,000 for a Corolla?
I knew you were gonna say that. Right?
What?
When you said
What
82.
Corolla? What Corolla? What?
Obviously, you know,
The
Corolla.
GR.
Oh,
Brand new.
I wouldn't-
Does it have the dips?
81769.
is this a
that have the diff?
Marizzo edition?
I would pay $28,000 for that Corolla, and that
The
would probably be my
MSRP
max.
is almost 52,000.
Yeah.
And I
I'd
was
pay
like, for a
50.
Corolla,
So-
I don't know. It's a Corolla. I just can't. I couldn't do it. I don't care what edition it is. $52,000 for a Corolla.
I have two quick opinions on this. Number one
Oh,
is that I love the GR Corolla. Number
Yes.
two is that no, I would not pay $80,000 for one.
I wouldn't pay 50.
Number three, I would import a Yaris if possible.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah.
And like it's taken me a little bit to come to that conclusion, but the Yaris is just so much better. Like,
Uh-huh.
and the Corolla is still a Corolla, and it's cool and all, but like,
A lot of money.
it's a lot of money, and at that point, you're really just paying for the looks. Because other than that, you could just get a Type R and like. I mean, I know it's not all-wheel drive, but like still.
The Yaris too. So the Corolla is just a Corolla. The Yaris is on like a purpose-built chassis for the GR Yaris. It's not a Yaris chassis.
didn't realize
It's
the
like
chassis.
the Corolla is just the same chassis as a Corolla. So like,
Bro, the Yaris has a shorter wheelbase and like.
And they're
I mean,
really
Yaris
fun
is
in the
cool.
snow. When I was in Austria in January, I got to see the GR.
You can
Yaris,
toss it
and
wherever
was
you want it to go.
So
man. It'll
sick.
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Huge fan of the car. It sounds a lot better than you'd think too. Like
Yeah,
I was a
three-cylinder
huge fan.
sounds sick.
I was a huge
cool
fan of that
sounding
car.
engine.
He pulled up and started drifting next to the Lamborghini, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, I saw that video.
"Oh yeah!"
you
Like
see somebody
Buddha
was-
comes in, and then he comes in, and I'm like, "This is crazy."
there was some tuning company I saw a headline for it that got like 700 horsepower out of that
Oh,
three-cylinder.
it's those guys in Dubai.
I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's like over 200 horsepower per cylinder.
That is such a Dubai thing to do.
That's a crazy thing to do. That car's gonna explode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how can that engine even handle that?
I don't know. It's a Corolla. It loves it.
People will probably be asking us this. What's the coolest car you've like transacted?
Yeah.
Ooh, coolest car.
In your opinion?
Okay.
And then dream car to transact.
Yeah, what's like one of the cars? Like I feel like everyone in that thing like has the one car that you'd be like, oh, I would love to just even get my hands on, like moving it.
Yeah.
I mean, moving it like selling it, not like
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
it around. But yes,
Coolest one. It's tough. I've worked with quite a few. I'm gonna say probably this old 288 GTO, which is a
Oh, okay,
really
that's cool,
It's a
yeah.
really cool one.
Quite cool.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite of yours that you've done too.
I'm always saying,
Having
man,
not known.
I don't think it can get much better than that.
That's an awesome one.
Yeah.
Dream one to transact. There's so many out there. I mean, I'm kind of working on a career GT right now, but you know, that's obviously awesome and a dream.
The dream one is the what is it? The 250 GTO, because your cut will be big.
I know, exactly.
The cut will pay for that 458 you're looking at.
I know.
We're looking for good percentages out there.
I know. Yeah, there's some classics that I'm working on. A couple like Nart spiders that I'm hoping to transact as well. So that would be awesome.
That would be
so
nice.
if anyone has a buyer out there, I do
Yeah.
have one. But
Hey,
yeah,
fair enough. And shout your business out too. I don't know if you said the name of it, right? Or,
not yet. I got to
Hey,
shout that
say
out.
the
before
name.
we
We'll
wrap
put it
up
in the
here.
description.
All right. TorqueMotorCar.com is the website. We are at Torque Motor Car on Instagram. I'm at Curtis Griffin. Please like, follow, share, comment, and let us know if you need any cars. And if you have a referral, send it my way. We give out bonuses.
there you go.
Nice.
Curtis, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We appreciate your
guys.
time and having you. You're a lovely guy.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
All
Great
right.
to
Thank
meet
you
you.
guys.
Chatting with
Likewise. Yeah.
Thanks, audience.
Everybody
Subscribe.
Come on.
If you're not
Send
already.
Noah cars on Auto Tempest.
Send me
Yes,
cars
yes.
on AutoTempest. Guys,
Daily
Autotempest.com/crankshaft.
25K under.
I brutally need a daily driver. If you send
he
it,
needs
you
help.
could get 2 hoodies out of that.
2 hoodies. You could put
hoodies.
both on and be extra warm.
You don't even need a jacket next winter if you find Noah a car.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.